grand old YouTube, we can do that. But yeah, so if someone's interested in doing the Pledge of Allegiance and or the national anthem, let me know. It'll bring a little, patriotism and some fun into the chamber. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, roll call and verification of quorum. Chair Hurst.
Chair or Senator Lazo.
Present.
Herrera. Mateo. Okay. Trainer.
Present.
Nava Cruzat.
Present.
Ibe.
Present.
Anna.
Present.
Morissette.
Present.
Ethan.
Present.
Vaughn. Liziana. Is she in the chat at all? Liziana Vorn. Vorn, V-O-R-N. Okay. Bishop.
Present.
Dallas.
Present.
Kara.
Present.
Butler. Elise. Okay. Campbell.
Present.
Castillo. Eric. Lazier.
Present.
Pentel.
Present.
Hamid. Present. Larson.
Present.
Rose.
Present.
Jason.
Here.
Yera. Carlos Yera. Quiroga.
Present.
Carter.
Present.
Brown. Zamillo.
Present.
Hamayan.
Present.
Adela.
Present.
Ishan Patel.
Present.
Ellen Chili's absent. Shah.
Present.
Acosta.
Present.
Borges. Yeah. Duke.
Present.
Hochfelder. Matthew. Holmes. Present. Oh, good. I'm here. Kazay.
Present.
Barnett. Tyler Barnett. Lacasse. Polera. Present. AJ Patel. Holman.
Present.
Richmond. Laurel. Oh, is she present? Yeah. Okay. Sandlin.
Present.
Vasquez.
Present.
Rivera.
Present.
DeMarla. Oh, she's absent, right? And Mittal.
Present.
And you said Borges was here? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. Which ones? Okay. Thank you both. I apologize for not being getting to you faster. All right, 39 out of 50, quorum is verified.
Let me go to the thing. Okay, let me make sure everything is here. Okay, perfect. Approval of the minutes. Take a look at last meeting's minutes and I'll take a motion. Senator Hamid,
Motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
there's been a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, last meeting's minutes stand approved. Approval of the agenda. Please take a look at today's agenda and I'll take a motion. Senator, Chair Temple.
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
There's been a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none, tonight's agenda stands approved. Open forum. Are there any non-senators wishing to speak during open forum? Seeing none, announcements from the student body president, President Greenaway, no report. Announcements from the student body vice president, Vice President Smith.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Just a little bit of updates for me. So this week I had meetings with ATSB members talking about different initiatives that they had. And we were also talking about different ways to collaborate with Pegasus Palooza. So they just told me different things that they wanted to do this fall and what they're planning on doing for Pegasus Palooza and Welcome Week. That's going to be happening August 20th. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, are there any questions for Vice President Smith? Chair Borges.
Do you know when they're going to be releasing that timeline, like the days of each event?
I do not, but I can reach out and see when they're going to do that.
Another question, Chair Borges? Oh, nope. Okay. Comptroller's report. Comptroller Kane, is that your report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. So since we're starting a new fiscal year, CRT 520,000, no reversion, FAO 260,000, no reversion. In terms of announcements, so we just met with people from the College of Engineering and Computer Science regarding kind of things we can do because we have lower funding caps for this upcoming fiscal year. So finding alternative ways to fund RSOs, specifically in the College of Engineering and Computer Science, that need a lot of that money for travel, conferences, things like that. So working with them and also kind of analyzing what's been done in the past and seeing if we can up the caps and pretty much just finding a way to be able to fund as many of these student initiatives as possible.
All right. Are there any questions for the comptroller? All right. Seeing none. Attorney General's report. AG Moore.
Good evening, Senate. This Monday, I had another judicial advising appointment with a student and the Chief Justice, which went pretty well. And today I met with LJR to go over Title III. There may be a change to a section in there. And if the LJR chair wants to explain it a little bit, we can. And also, I hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July.
Are there any questions regarding the AG's report? Seeing none. Cabinet Forum. None. Announcements from the Chief Justice Silva. Well, Jake will be doing that.
Sorry, we're running a little bit behind, but I have our announcements. Good evening, Senate. Hope you're all doing well. The judicial branch is finally done with turnover and interviewing process. I'm excited to start working on setting goals for the branch and working towards them. A big thank you to Stephen Holmes for quickly sending out correspondence to the fiscal chair to schedule our fiscal workshop. I, as well as the branch, really appreciate those efforts. The judicial retreat is currently scheduled for July 21st from 9 to 5 p.m. The location is yet to be determined. The judicial seal is finalized. A huge thank you to graphic design coordinator Valak this process. I've attached some new seal to put in the minutes. And then finally, I hereby appoint Jake Hansen to the internal assistant chief justice position and Daniel Rivera to the external assistant chief justice position. That is all. I hope you'll have a great weekend.
All right, are there any questions for Mr. Hansen regarding the Chief Justice report? D-Leg Morset?
I just wanted to say, I don't think anyone on Zoom heard it because I don't think his mic was on.
What happened? What happened? Oh, okay, you're gonna have to read it.
That is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think so, right? It's on.
Can y'all hear him?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, let's just forget that ever happened. I hope you're all doing well. The judicial branch is finally done with the interviewing process, so I'm excited to start working on setting goals for the branch and working towards them. Big thank you to Speaker Holmes for quickly sending out correspondence to the fiscal chairs to schedule our first fiscal workshop. I, as well as the branch, really appreciate those efforts. The judicial retreat is currently scheduled for July 21st from 9 to 5 p.m. and the location is yet to be determined. Judicial seal is finalized. A huge thank you to graphic design coordinator Valak for assisting me in this process. The new seal is attached in the minutes. And also I hereby appoint Jake Hansen to the internal assistant chief justice position and Daniel Rivera to the external assistant chief justice position. That is all. I hope you all have a great weekend.
All right. Now, are there any questions regarding the Chief Justice report? Seeing none. Thank you, Jake. Announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, none. Announcements from the Activity and Service Fee Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Scholarship Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Senate President. Good evening, Senate. I hope you had a wonderful week. Today, we have 6 confirmations. As the fall is quickly approaching, it's important that you start to think of ways through legislation, collaboration, and communication with your constituents. I know Chair Bohr has mentioned last week about legislation. He'd like to see legislation on the floor. You can reach out to him, Chair Temple, our pro tempore, D-Leg, the SBA chair. Regarding that, they have some good and important knowledge regarding legislation. They've seen it in the past. Do not come to me because I cannot give you like advice on what to put in your legislation statutorily. But yeah, those are some really good resources to go to regarding legislation. For the caucuses, if you have a event planned for the fall, which I know many of you do, which makes me so excited, please send me an email with the name, the date, location, time, and description of the event. I do sit on the caucuses, but sometimes my memory doesn't serve me well on the exact dates and location and things like that of these events. So if you could send me an email with all this information so that I can keep it in there and I can refer to it. I spoke with some individuals in the executive branch about possibly creating a shared calendar so that we all can support each other with each other's events and different things that we're doing. So let me see. It is imperative also that you finalize these as the time gets closer because promotions, food, and more needs to be ordered in advance. But if you have any questions or need assistance with any of these events, do not hesitate to contact me or the pro tempore. We're here to support you. And then also our shirts have to be reordered, but I promise they're coming into fruition. We just had some printing issues with the retailer that we wanted to go with. So, but it's still going to happen. And then we have a tentative retreat for September 16th from 9 to 5 p.m. Please mark that in your calendars. And do not think it's some boring retreat where we're just sitting. I promise it's gonna be good. You're gonna have fun. But make sure you mark that on your calendar so we can get as many people out as possible. Senate leadership, I will be reaching out to you about your PowerPoints and the different things that you need to communicate to fellow senators. My announcements were pretty long this time. I apologize. But does anyone have any questions regarding what I've said? Chair Hurst.
Where is this taking place?
I don't have a specific location. I have to put in the location request form, but part of the retreat will be in the RWC Challenge Course area.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. Good question. Senator Barnett.
President voting.
So noted at 6:20 PM. Are there any, so many. Senator Patel,
President voting.
so noted at 6:21 PM. Chair Kana.
So are we doing this retreat like instead of the July 15th one, or are we doing both?
It's a little mumbled. Could you repeat that again?
Sorry, are we doing the July retreat still as well, or just the September one now?
Good question. So what had happened there is we didn't have enough people to do the other date that they proposed. So if they had availability for the date that we wanted, all the senators that were in that kind of chat that I made, were available, we would have been able to do it, but we're just gonna go forward with just our regular retreat. Senator Patel, is that still your hand up or no? Okay. Chair Carter?
With the PowerPoints, will your email like contain more information of like what you would like to see in the PowerPoints?
Yeah, so the PowerPoints would kind of be like, what does your caucus committee do? Like its functions, according, of course, to statutes and anything that you do beyond there. And then with caucuses, it might be a little bit shorter just because there's nothing really precedented with its functions. But for committees, there's a lot of things that go into how committees function, which has to go with our statutes. And we'll be going through that just to refresh our senators' minds and make sure that we're not leaving any gaps when it comes to the different processes that we do here in our branch. I hope that answers your question. Senator Barnett? Was that a question? No? Okay. These are all great questions. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, seeing none. Internal legislative assistant report, none. External legislative assistant report, none. Senate Pro Tempore report, Pro Tempore DeMarla. She's not here, but I will go ahead and read it. Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. Unfortunately, I won't be present at this meeting since I'll be on a flight. Fiscal leadership had an insightful meeting with the CECS Dean and will continue working with them to provide more funding for students. Shout out to fiscal leadership plus Sierra. Oh, thanks, Akila. And they have been working so hard from all over the world to make sure students get the funding they deserve. So are there any questions regarding the Pro Tempore's report? Seeing none, I will echo that was a very, very good meeting. Pro Tempore of Legislative Affairs report, D-Leg Morset.
Hi, everyone. Just two announcements. I'm starting to work on one of my outreach initiatives for the fall, and there will be 3 fiscal bills tonight on first reading.
Are there any questions regarding the D-Legs report? Seeing none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Senate Relations report, none. Caucus reports, APIA caucus, none. Black caucus, Chair Dadalos.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope the day has been treating you all well. And if not, you still have a couple more hours for the day to treat you well. Please make sure you are taking care of yourselves. As usual, at least 8 cups of water a day and at least 2 meals a day, fruits and vegetables included. For my caucus, I do apologize for us not being able to reschedule our meeting this week. Work has been a doozy, so just a lot of inconsistencies on that. And for me, we won't be meeting next week also, so look out for a message from me regarding the showcase next month. And lastly, NPHC is having a Black Book Drive to donate books that have been pretty much in the political spotlight to organizations like the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club. Being a future educator and someone who currently works at the Boys and Girls Club and has worked at the YMCA, I would love for you all to donate, buy a book off the Amazon wish list because reading is power. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Chair Dadalos? And I'll just say myself, if you want to buy a book, but you can't pay the whole thing, let me know. I will go half on it with you. Just message me. Disability Caucus, Chair Campbell, did you have anything?
Yes, I apologize. I just have been kind of running around a little bit over here, so I haven't been able to write it down yet. But good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone's having a great week. We actually had a different but pretty productive meeting. We actually had the LGBTQ caucus chair on, along with the president of the Pride Student Association. Chair Carter just wanted to get some feedback on the readability of the new pamphlets, which we happily obliged. Then PSA had brought up an event that they were hosting in October that they wanted us to kind of have input on in terms of accessibility and possibly participation, and that is the start of a series of communications that we're going to be having. Sorry, I can't speak today. A series of communications that we're going to be having over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to get some input from you, from different members here in student government, especially you, Sierra. So we actually had a pretty good meeting this week. Sorry, I can't think. Sorry, guys. And then we also talked about Disability Pride Month because I kind of dropped the ball and forgot to write a proclamation. So I will be working on that with a couple other senators on Friday as part of SBA.
Okay, I didn't get everything, so you might have to fill in some of the gaps for me. Going back and
Yeah, that's completely fine.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding the Disability Caucus report? Seeing none. Latin Hispanic Caucus, none. However, I will be announcing their meeting date this Friday. So if you're in Latin Hispanic Caucus, take a look out. If you have not filled out that one to me, please do, because I will be saying a time and date for your meeting. And if you're running for chair, please let me know. I would love to have your materials so that we can present it during it. And then if you want to be vice chair, please think about it. Not many people think about vice chair, but it's just equally as important. LGBTQ plus caucus, Chair Carter.
Hey everyone, we're meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. So please feel free to sit in. We'll be going over some projects. We're planning to finalize details, and also shout out to this Disability Caucus for helping me with the pamphlet. I definitely needed a second set of eyes to go over the readability of it. So thank you.
Chair Carter, can you link your beautiful pamphlet in the agenda so everybody could see it? It's so beautiful. Are there any questions for Chair Carter regarding her report? Seeing none. Women's Caucus, none. Unfinished business, none. Fiscal Committee caucus time, none. Fiscal Committee report, CRT Committee, Chair Samillo.
Hey y'all, so in committee on 7/3/23, old business was allocation 55-031, which we approved. New business is allocations 55-037, 55-38, 55-039, which were all approved. So we approved 4 allocations, 0 fiscal bills, postponed 0, PPI 0, and denied 0. And I can't wait to see all of you guys, but I do want to give a quick shout out to my committee for everybody kind of getting the hang of everything going on recently and asking plenty of questions. Definitely a proud mom moment for me. So, besito, besos. Thank you guys.
All right. Are there any questions for Chair Samillo? Seeing none. FAO Committee, none due to the holiday. ORS Committee, Chair Borges.
Hey guys, just like everyone else said, it's not in here, but we met with the CECS deans. They were cool about it. They really wanted to help their students, which is awesome. But in committee, we did some stuff that I don't really have to read, but you can if you really want to. But yeah, and there's no Temple's treasure trove today, so that's all for me.
Are there any questions for Chair Borges? Seeing none. Fiscal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading, bills, I'm sorry, my thing is acting funky. Okay. Fiscal Bill 5504, funding for 10 members of the future leaders of the lodging industry to travel to the Las Vegas site visit week in Las Vegas, Nevada from October 15th to 2023 to October 21st, 2023 is hereby remanded to CRT. Fiscal Bill 5505, funding for UCF Hillel to host the high holidays at UCF Hillel on September 15th, 2023 is hereby remanded to FAO. Fiscal Bill 5506, funding for Night Riders Motorcycle Club to host Fall Night Riders track event at Jennings GP on September 23rd, 2023 is hereby remanded to FAO. Notice of legislation on third reading, none. Notice of legislation on second reading, none. Internal committee caucus time, none. Internal committee reports. ENA Committee Chair Kana.
Hey there, y'all. I hope you guys had a wonderful Independence Day. So this week we interviewed for Election Commission, and it was the same story last week. But we're getting to the end of our busy season, so thank you, ENA. I'm very proud of all of you guys for hanging in there. I know it's been a lot, but we're getting through it. And we also started reviewing the election statutes for potential alterations, and we will continue to do that while we finish up with these last few nominations.
All right, are there any questions for Chair Kana? Seeing none, Senator Hochfelder?
Present and voting.
So noted at 6:32 p.m. GAP Committee Chair Temple.
Good evening, folks. So I'm back in person only for a few days, but might as well drop in person for once. So we didn't have a meeting this week because of the 4th of July holiday. I hope everybody got some sun, or at least took their mind off of Senate for a little bit. But we will be back to our regularly scheduled GAP meetings with our new senators, of course. Sorry for that. And just a quick heads up on the student priority survey. We now have 41 responses to them. And the responses I've been seeing are very, very, shall we say, interesting for all sorts of reasons. I do encourage you all to actually get to fill out that form. If you need it, just reach out to me or to my vice chair. And please circulate that amongst your RSOs as well as your constituents. And then, of course, my on this day fact here is present, but I'm going to be very quick about it. The Battle of Leuclecta was fought between Thebes and Sparta around on this day in 371 BCE. As we all know, Sparta was known for being this incredible, invincible military machine, and Thebes being not that, but of course possessed the famous proto-special forces known as the Sacred Band, a crack military unit that would go on to make sure that Sparta never attained that invincibility streak ever again. That's all.
Are there any questions for Chair Temple? Seeing none, LJR Committee, Chair Yalamanchili, but Chair Hurst will be taking that over.
Yep. Okay. So, hi, everybody. We did 3 absence requests today, 2 approved and 1 postponed. You can see them in the minutes. Let's see. We reviewed the second half of Title III today from pages 9 to 17 regarding legislative branch, discuss a few statute clarifications and potential revisions to Title III. And I have a different history fact that is about Napoleon and the Battle of Wagram that I'm not going to read because you can read yourselves. And that's it.
All right. Are there any questions regarding the LJR Committee report for Chair Hurst? Seeing none, SBA Committee, Chair Hurst.
Hi, everybody. So tomorrow we're doing a legislation writing workshop instead of doing a regular SBA meeting. So if you want to come, please join us. We're going to work on proclamations and resolutions from July until September. So we can try to get some of that stuff rolling and actually start doing legislation instead of just sitting here in really quick meetings, which is nice, but legislation is also part of our job. So we're going to do those starting tomorrow. I will send out the Zoom link around tomorrow morning, maybe between 9 and noon. But if you want to join us, please do. We'd love to have you. The concern form is live and active. We've had 1 submission in the past 2 weeks. Thank you, Ms. Holmes. So we appreciate her. But I would like if you actually would do the same, and all of you submit a concern form submission if you please could, and also spread out to your friends and have them do the same. Go outside, eat some fruit, eat some vegetables, drink water, and sleep.
All right. Are there any questions for Chair Hurst? I will be at that workshop tomorrow.
Yeah, we'd be happy to have you.
No questions. All right. Confirmations. I will take a motion. Just reminder that we have 6 confirmations, and I don't think we've seen EC individuals, so, and it's only 6:35, so if you want to take a little bit of time, Chair Hurst.
6-minute speeches, 8-minute questioning, 8-minute debate.
There has been a motion for 6-minute speeches, 8-minute questioning, 8-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that stands. And Senator Shaw, no worries. You're still counted in the roll call if you get disconnected. If y'all get disconnected, don't worry about it. Just reconnect. You're okay. You're not going to get in trouble. All right. So let me pull up my thing. All right. First up, we have Luke Brown for EC seat 9. Mr. Brown, you have 6 minutes when you are ready.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Luke Brown. I'm currently a sophomore with an experimental animation major. However, this will likely be changing in the next few weeks. I applied for the role of election commissioner, as you all know. I'm a first generation. Voting and elections as a whole have been a very important part of my family's beliefs. And as a previous member of ELC and active member around campus, I've had the chance to see many different sides and views of SG, and many of my goals and proposals were focusing on gaining awareness and participation within student government and its many elections. One of my goals in particular focuses on spreading awareness as to what SG does as a whole, as that was a very popular conversation topic in this year's election. Another one of them was to increase Senate and presidential election. And these were both going to be done via like tabling or holding events, something I'm very well accustomed to. And my track record definitely shows that I'm pretty adept at it. One of my personal favorite goals was to continue doing themes for this coming year. And I think adding a theme will definitely help create a memorability factor, help garner more participation during tabling events, or actually during the actual event. I also think including more participation during the SGLC program will be a vital part to gain more participation within the election commission itself. My experience around campus, my work ethic, my time management, organization, and creativity are all extremely useful aspects that can be used to help election commission. And I hope that you all swear me in. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time.
We are now in a period of questioning. Are there any senators wishing to ask the candidate a question? Anybody? Make sure you're looking at the materials as well. We'll go Senator Hamid and then Vice Chair Duke.
Hi, thank you for coming in. I see on your platform sheet, you said that you want to create a new theme for the year. What did you come up with, or do you have any ideas?
So I don't have a particular theme idea yet, aside from avoiding the past 2 themes or any other themes that are within the last 3 years, because I don't know what was 3 years ago. I think creating a theme should be done as a group. It shouldn't just be a thing that I just suggest and we go along with. It's more of a way for election commission to also bond as a team by creating a new theme. And I also think doing that theme as like a group with all of student government might actually be a very good way to help create a more unified image of student government.
All right. We will go Duke Carter Borges.
Hi, I'm so sorry if this question has been asked before because I don't currently have access to the materials right now. But my question is, besides like promoting the election, election facilitation is a huge part of being an election commissioner. And I was just wondering how you plan or like how you think you can remain impartial when elections come about.
How do I remain impartial during elections coming about? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to think of a proper response for that. It's hard to define how I would be impartial, aside from the fact that aside from just saying I will be. I think when it comes to trying to be my best to be impartial, one of the biggest is obviously avoiding talks about that, not really being involved with conversations that are political in that, at least with the student government elections. And in general, just trying not to, or doing my absolute best to not let any bias cloud me, which is a pretty easy thing for me to do, honestly, as I've had experience with it now that I've been in charge of some committees within CAB and other organizations.
Chair Carter.
Okay, so going based off like your response to Vice Chair Duke's question, how do you think your experience at CAB will help you with EC?
I think my experience at CAB really helps me get a different perspective of how student government affects the student body, but it also definitely gives me a very creative edge, being that I'm the fine arts director. So it helps me think of new creative ways to help move our goals forward or to get more student involvement on the everyday activities or events.
Borges, then Temple.
I have 2 questions, if I may.
Okay.
Can you name 2 of the polling locations that are required by Title VI?
2 of the polling locations are Peg Ballroom, Memory Mall.
The second question relates to candidates and tickets actively campaigning. Can you name at least 2 places where they cannot actively campaign?
They cannot actively campaign within the student union and within the library.
Chair Temple, and then we'll go Chair Carter.
All right, thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening, Mr. Brown. Fancy running into you again. I'm going to tack a little bit with this line of questioning, but a few questions, if I may.
You may.
My first question would be, of course, I see that you have, as one of your points, preparing for the upcoming U.S. presidential election. So my first question to you is, how would you think it'd be easier for students to vote in that particular election?
As a person who's originally from out of state, my first initial struggle with voting here in Florida was getting like permission to vote or figuring out how to get in registering to vote for the state, and then also getting mail-in ballots, because I'm not registered actually for Orlando. I'm registered for Hudson, Florida, or Pasco County. So I think one of the best ways would be probably educating students on their options of voting, how to vote sooner rather than later, or how to register to vote sooner rather than later, as the registering process becomes a lot harder closer to voting time.
Okay, and then of course, my second question is more substantive. What do you think would be good policies to implement to get students to vote? Like, what do you think student government should do to encourage students to vote?
Voting for the presidential elections or voting for student elections?
For presidential elections in this case.
Okay. For like US presidential elections, I think part of it is helping educate about what each president actually stands for, as there tends to be a lot of miscommunication. But I also think that one of the best ways is having RSOs, having organizations from around campus actually encourage participation within the upcoming election, even if they aren't political in nature. And they don't have to like sway to any side, but at least encouraging students to vote, telling their students how they can get involved with voting or how they can help spread awareness about candidates that they're very passionate about. I think if we can all create a united front as a campus and try to encourage every student from every person of every level within the campus to vote and create more polling locations if possible, I think that would help.
Oh, thank you.
Borges, then Carter.
Hi, sorry, could I ask 2 more?
Okay. Just note that there's like 2 minutes left.
Okay, this should be fast. Can you name an election that's not the primary election?
An election that's not the primary election? Sorry, like, are you meaning like the name, like the name of it?
The name of 3 other types of elections, like one of the 3 that is not the primary election.
Is it called a state election? I'm sorry, I don't really know the proper terms for it other than like the Senate election or
I'll move on. Can you explain what happens if a campus emergency happens during elections?
Can you repeat part of that? You cut out for me.
Can you explain what would happen in case of a campus emergency during elections?
If a campus emergency occurs during election, the election is rescheduled to the next available date, if I remember correctly. And I think they have to give around 1 week notice about that.
Chair Carter, you'll be the last question unless someone extends the questioning time.
Based off of Chair Temple's question, do you have an interest in focusing on outside of US presidential elections, such as local election, not in terms of swaying to vote for candidate, but more of like emphasizing the importance of voting in local elections too?
I will never say that the local elections aren't just as important, but I'm not as well educated about participation within those. So my goals aren't particularly focused towards those.
Chair Hurst,
Motion to extend time by 1 minute.
there's been a motion to extend questioning time by 1 minute. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it's been extended, starting now.
I also have a question.
Yeah, Hurst.
So you are trying to talk about like increasing voting for all students. How do you plan on increasing voting for students that are not on main campus, like on the Lake Nona campus, downtown, or the Rosen campus?
Would you yet again mind, give me 1 second, sorry. Apologies, somebody entered my house. Can you repeat the question?
Sure. So you want to try and increase voting between of all students on campus. Are you focused only on main campus, or how do you plan on increasing voting for students that are not on main campus, like downtown, Rosen, or online, or Lake Nona?
Assuming you're meaning, or can you also explain, do you mean the presidential election or the student election? Because we've been swapping between those.
I mean elections in general, for both presidential or for Senate elections, or also for just elections in general.
Okay. I don't know as much about the other campuses, so I can't give a proper plan for those ones yet. However, when I do get into the position, I plan to focus mostly on the main campus, as it has a larger student body, and most oftentimes when we're focusing on at least like the state or local elections or like presidential elections, we're looking more towards freshmen or sophomores who have only just turned 18 and are allowed to legally vote. When it comes to senator and presidential elections for UCF, I think I have to learn more about the actual campuses, other campuses, as I have not had much of a chance to actually learn about them to figure out the proper way to increase voting in those campuses.
Questioning time has now elapsed. We are now in a period of debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak in debate? Borges.
Yeah, so I'll just explain the answer to one of my questions first that was answered incorrectly. The 3 different types that are other than the primary are runoff, special, and new. But at the same time, I really don't expect everyone to get all these questions right. The rest of the questions were answered pretty accurately. From what I've seen through Luke and ELC or SGLC in general, he's going to learn every word of Title VI by probably next week. So I believe that, any questions he couldn't answer now, he'll be able to answer very soon. I think he's going to be a great member of EC, so I'll be voting in favor.
Are there any other senators wishing to speak? Temple?
I'll concur with Chair Borges on this one. Although not all the questions were answered accurately, I know Luke from SGLC well enough to know that he'll probably have this down very soon. I would say probably within half a week as opposed to a full week, because I know Mr. Brown's qualifications, but I'm very interested to see most especially in what he plans to do for the 2024 elections, because that's kind of what piqued me the most. Typically we expect, yes, aside from my political and election biases, we do expect election commissioners, of course, to advertise the student government elections, but for them to have a step beyond into the actual elections for local, state, and especially federal elections is something that really needs to be done more in order to kind of get more students to vote within all elections, not just student government elections. And yes, again, I know the proclivity that my angle to this, but I do encourage you all to vote for Mr. Brown for the election commission because I really do think his initiatives would help all elections, especially federal elections.
Senator Bourne.
Hello, Luke. I just want to say, I know Luke within my time in ELC, and I know Luke as someone who's been very supportive and very knowledgeable about SG, and not only just E, but other realms within UCF, like CAB or any other organizations. And something that makes me really excited, which makes me want to vote in favor of Luke, is the creative elements he will bring to the table this upcoming election. So I'm excited for that. Thank you.
Are there any other senators wishing to speak in debate? In regards to the candidate? Seeing none, Chair Kana.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. With a vote count of 33 to 0 to 4, congratulations, Commissioner Brown. Next up, we have Alicia Wright for EC Seat 3. Alicia, you have 6 minutes when you are ready.
Okay, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, Senate. My name is Alicia Wright. I am a junior majoring in health science with aspirations of becoming an anesthesiologist. Being involved in school and my surrounding community is something that is very important to me. In high school, I was involved with student government for 3 years, serving as student body vice president my senior year. I also founded the Black Student Union at my school, where I served to educate, encourage, and empower students about the importance of Black culture. Founding that club resulted in the increase in the Black population and awareness of issues happening on my old high school campus. Since I've been here at UCF, I have been involved with UCF's Black Student Union as well. I was also part of the Student Government Leadership Council this past year. During my time at SGOC and ELC, I was able to learn more about student government and the impact that it has on students. Through my commitment and dedication with assisting with many events hosted by SG, I was awarded SGOC Member of the Year. Aside from leadership positions, I also volunteer weekly at the Florida Cancer Specialist Foundation clinic that provides aid to cancer patients who are struggling financially. Being an aspiring doctor, I value the importance of healthcare and healthy patient experiences. I think these experiences and opportunities have taught me various skills such as being open-minded, critical thinking, conflict resolution, and most importantly, how to be a leader. I believe these skills are needed and can continue to be developed as an election commissioner. This past election cycle, though only being my first year at UCF, I was able to see firsthand how UCF elections are run. Seeing this and being able to be a part of something that had a positive impact on UCF's campus, I believe that the election commission is a very vital part of student government, and it ensures that SG is run by students striving to make UCF a better place. If elected, one of my main goals is to educate students on the importance of voting during student elections. Making sure students are educated on elections helps us to put UCF in the hands of students who can represent the student body in a productive and effective manner. I will accomplish this goal by posting on social media and reaching out to individual UCF colleges and campuses, not only during the election cycle, but also before, while making lists and explaining reasons as to why student government elections are important and it's something that every student should be involved with. As I am knowing in enforcing election statutes, I will create a positive and enjoyable election experience for all candidates and campaigns. Being the determined person that I am looking forward to making the next election cycle run efficiently and doing my part to make sure that UCF has the ability to strive in future years. It would be an honor to be a representative of the UCF student body and student government. Thank you. I yield my time.
We're now in line of questioning. Are there any questions for the candidate? Chair Carter.
Hi, so you mentioned that you wanted to educate students about the elections. Do you have any other plans on how to do that outside of social media, or do you want to mainly stick to social media?
Social media is very influential, but also doing tabling, going to different campuses, sending out a lot of emails to students and to the different colleges, and also UCF, other campuses like Rosen, downtown, things of that nature. Just trying to promote as best as we can to make sure that students are aware.
Chair Borges.
Yeah, so this is one that I asked the previous candidate, and I said the answers, but I'll ask it for you, so maybe you heard them. What are the 3 types of elections that could potentially be held besides the primary election for student government?
It's special election, new election, and runoff election.
Are there any other questions for the candidate? If not, I'll take a motion. Temple.
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Oh, Borges.
Sorry, I wanted to ask more questions. We barely asked any, so I object.
He withdraws. Go ahead.
Can I ask my question?
Okay.
Sorry. So similar to the last candidate, I asked what happens in the event of a campus emergency during elections. Are you able to describe a little bit more that wasn't fully answered correctly by the previous one?
I know that this current student body president has to reschedule it within 10 days following the normal election that was supposed to take place. If I think that's correct.
Acosta.
Motion to move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak in debate? Carter.
Based off the candidates' answers, they seem knowledgeable on the election statutes and rules, as well as they had prior experience in SGLC, as well as experience in high school, especially with creating election rules and statutes for the BSU. So I will be voting for them, and I highly encourage you all to vote for them as well.
Are there any other senators wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, Chair Kanal.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. With a vote count of 31 to 0 to 3, congratulations, Commissioner Wright.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Taylor Calfee for EC seat 10. Taylor, you have 6 minutes when you are ready.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Senators. My name is Taylor Calfee. I'm originally from Sarasota, Florida, and this fall I'm entering my sophomore year here at UCF. I'm a criminal justice major with a political science minor, and I plan on going to law school after graduation. I have hopes of becoming an election commissioner, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I knew once I graduated from high school, I wanted to be involved with student government in college. I joined Student Government Leadership Council, and I wasn't sure on what to expect, but I absolutely fell in love with SGLC and student government as a whole. I was able to see firsthand how much of an impact student government has at UCF and all of the resources we offer on campus. Surrounding myself with wonderful people with the same goals and aspirations has been so inspiring, and I have made amazing and supportive friends along the way. SGLC has assisted me in gaining valuable insights such as problem-solving abilities, as well as leadership skills. After SGLC, Judicial Leadership Council has assisted me in bettering my communication skills, as well as my ability to work as a team and individually. These councils have taught me so much useful information and have assisted me in growing as a person. I have learned adaptability in any given situation throughout my work with memory care residents of my job for 3 years. Working with individuals with a rapidly declining memory causes a plethora of situations where you have to modify and change at the drop of a dime. I plan on using these learned skills and tactics as an election commissioner. As an election commissioner, I had an initiative on dedicating my time on promoting voter education and student engagement, and as well as debates. When I went to the presidential debate last year, I was disappointed in the turnout from the student body. So if I become an election commissioner, I would love to brainstorm ideas with others on how to increase the turnout for debates for not only presidential, but Senate debates. For example, using the UCF Instagram to post a poll and see if the students even know where to find these events or what happens at these events, and see really what debates are like. I would also like to promote these debates as well as increasing voter education with partnering with RSOs across campus to work and plan events and work as a team collaboratively. While partnering with these RSOs, I hope to get the information out to the student body and have a successful and positive turnout from the student body. As well as that, I would like to speak with senators about any ideas or issues that they have with elections or debates, and I would love to collaborate. Thank you again for this opportunity. I yield my time.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. Are there any senators wishing to ask a question? We'll go Sandlin. Ooh, okay. We'll go Sandlin, Pockfelder, Duke, Carter, Temple. Hopefully I remember that. Please remind me if not.
You said that one of your initiatives was partnering with RSOs to plan events to get voter information out there. I was just wondering, what would these events look like? What did you have in mind?
Even just on informative tabling, or even like a couple days before the debate, or even the day of the debate, partnering with RSOs and potentially having like an RSO help with the debate as well, like with volunteering and stuff like that, or just having everyone come out to the debate. Because I know the turnout wasn't great, but I haven't thought of like a lot, but especially with the events of more informative than, or we could even do like, I know merch is a huge thing. So I would love to incorporate that as well. Yeah, I have many little ideas, but I haven't had anything set, like completely completed.
Pockfelder?
Hi, thank you for joining us tonight. In a kind of position of power like this, where you're just helping people and kind of making sure like everything runs properly, what's like one role model do you think that informs how you act in this type of position, and why?
A role model would, I don't want to sound cliche, but the role model for me that I see for always doing the right thing and stuff is people that I've actually met in student government and Student Government Leadership Council. They've definitely taught me a lot about loyalty and doing the right thing. And they're just like wonderful people all around. And I definitely see them and would aspire to be like them. And I definitely use them as a role model.
You?
Howdy. I know you mentioned using social media as a way to advertise the election, but I was just wondering if you have any ideas like outside of social media to advertise the election, because I completely agree with you. Like there definitely needs to be a bigger turnout for future elections.
I know social media is a huge one, but even getting the word out on campus itself would be great. Like even more tabling for, like I said, informational situations like that, just to see and get the word out. Because I know, like, I talked to my friends about the debate and they're like, what is that? So I would like to definitely want to incorporate all the students at UCF and on campus. I feel like that would one of the best ways to do it.
Carter?
May I ask 2 questions?
May.
My first question is, how do you intend to increase voter turnout on the 3 other campuses that UCF has?
I have not really seen any of the other campuses or know a lot about them, so I definitely would need to do more research prior to that. But I feel like a good way would be using social media to get the word out, or going to different campuses and doing like an informational day on the debates and see like, or like meet the candidates or something like that to try to incorporate and have people genuinely see what our candidates are preaching for, not just like clicking on a name.
Thank you. And then my second question is, are you able to briefly describe the different tier violations and what some of those violations are?
I'm sorry.
The different tier violations for elections and what those are.
I'm completely drawing a blank right now. I am so sorry. If I'd be able to get back with you for that question, but it's just completely slipped. I apologize. I know that, yeah, it slipped. I really am sorry. I'm so.
It's okay, no worries.
Temple?
Great. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening, Ms. Calfee. So it seems that everybody here agrees that voter education is very important and having students understand the ins and outs of how to vote. But my question to you is, how would you convince them to vote? It's one thing for students to know how to vote, but there needs to be a why behind that. So I want to get your perspective on why students should vote in just any election, student government or presidential.
I feel like people either rely on, oh, somebody else will do it for me, or enough people are doing it, I don't need to do it, or it's not going to make a change, my voice isn't heard. So I feel like the biggest thing would be making sure that each individual student knows that their voice is heard and what they want to represent themselves is represented correctly, and to make sure that they are aware that they matter and their vote matters, and it's not just, oh, somebody else will handle it, like I don't have to deal with it. So I definitely think that would be a big part of it.
Butler and Yalman Chili, can you put a thumbs up if it's in regards to present voting? Okay. Yalman Chili, is that okay? I will get to you after we vote. Are there any other questions? Knowing we have 2 minutes left in questioning. Seeing none, with that, I'll take a motion. Temple?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. Are there any senators? Hochfelder?
Yeah, so I definitely came into Senate not knowing anything, and she clearly knows a lot more than I did, and that there's definitely room for growth. I think just another good candidate that's brought for us tonight, and she used the words loyalty and plethora, and if there's one way to win me over, it's to use the word plethora and then occasionally loyalty. So I'll definitely be voting for this candidate tonight. I think everyone else should. It's a good choice.
Barnett and Samillo.
Yeah, so I kind of know this candidate in a way. She's friends with my friends, but not knowing just from what she said, she's always been a person that's very kind-hearted, always been a person that displays loyalty and commitment, and I honestly believe that all of you guys should vote in favor, but I'm gonna have to abstain. But everything she said was spot on, and she definitely knows a lot, so definitely vote for her.
All right, Samillo.
As the person before me said, I will also have to abstain, but Taylor is the most beautiful soul, and like I know she'll be unbiased and beautiful for this position. I have no doubt in my mind that she is prepared for this and knows exactly what to do moving forward. She is so intelligent and bright, and I'm sure she's been so excited for this position. So I have no doubt in my mind that everybody should be voting in favor of her.
All right. Are there any other senators wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, Chair Knapp.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. With a vote count of 31 to 0 to 3, congratulations, Commissioner Calfee.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Next up, we have Brianna Phillips for ECC 8. Brianna, you have 6 minutes. Oh, before we do that, Chair Yalman-Chile.
Present voting.
Noted at 7:11. And then Chair Butler.
President voting.
So noted at 7:12 p.m. Now, Brianna, you have 6 minutes. 6 minutes when you're ready.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Brianna Phillips. I'm a rising sophomore studying political science on a pre-law track, and I'm very excited for this opportunity to be a part of the election commissions. Just a little bit about me. I'm part of the Lead Scholars Program and currently serve as the Volunteer Management Director. And then I'm also part of Black Student Union and serve as the Cultural and Social Awareness Director. And then just for fun, I play I am flag football with my friends. That's actually how I met some of my closest friends. And that's just something I do on the side. And I'm very confident that if I were to be confirmed tonight, that I'll be able to balance all three roles and give the best of my ability to all three of them. I've been able to keep myself organized with my classes and my leadership.
Brianna, we're kind of losing you.
Roles in the past year for wanting to election. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One of my main reasons for wanting to be a part of election commissions is to stay involved with student government. This past year, I was able to be in SGLC, and then I got into ELC, and those were some of the best experiences I've had at the school and just in school in general. In all these years I've been in school, I got to learn so much about student government and actually know how much they do for our students, as well as meet some of the best people I've met. And I'm not just saying that, I'm being for real. And I got to see how much of an impact student government makes on our students. And I wanted to be able to continue this journey, to be part of something so much bigger than me, but help make an impact, even if it's a small one, to be able to be a part of that. And making sure the elections are fair, something that's very important to me. Anything that's biased or partial, that just rubs me the wrong way, because I've seen a lot of that in past elections with school and some local elections as well. And just being fair is something that's super important to me. One of my main goals for election commissions this year is to raise the most awareness and excitement about student government as possible, about what they do and why it's so important. Some of my friends I play flag football with, when I told them about what I was doing this past semester, when I got the opportunity to campaign, they didn't even know there was an election going on. And then when they did know, they just didn't really care enough to vote, or even if they did, there wasn't much concern or excitement there. They just kind of did it because I told them about it. But I want this to change. I don't have any concrete ideas yet of how to raise this awareness, but if confirmed, I would love to devote a lot of attention in the fall to get a lot more people interested and excited. One of my main ways is to have interactive events throughout the fall, or maybe little pop-up tables around campus with free merch, because I know everybody loves that, that people can get after they just listen to a short talk about student government, the elections, and why it's so important to vote. Again, just something short and quick, but just to keep getting the word out there all throughout the semester. And for myself, personally, I want to be very involved with election commissions as much as I can and get to know everyone in the 3 branches. I would love to see more involvement from everyone in there. There was someone in election commissions this past year who was so involved, and she made my experience in student government even more impactful than it already was. And that's what I want to do. I just want to get as involved as possible and make the most of my time in election commissions. Thank you for your time. I yield my time.
We're now in line for questioning. Are there any senators wishing to ask a question? Temple?
All right. Good evening, Ms. Phillips, I believe. Yes, sorry, very much tired today. So like similar to what I had asked the prior candidate, what is your argument for students to go out and vote?
Yeah, so I believe that not every single student, but most students, they have a passion about something. Like there's something that drives them to do what they're doing or what they want to do. And I believe education is one of the most important things that we can have. And I think lack of education is the reason that a lot of people don't vote. They either don't know about the candidates or they don't know what they stand for. They don't know their platform. And I believe that if we were able to educate people on what the actual platform is and why these candidates are standing behind what they're saying, they'll be able to then, that'll encourage them to vote. Because again, I think lack of education is really the reason. Again, some people just aren't interested, but I think the more we educate people, the more that passion will shine through and more people will vote.
Carter?
If I may.
You may.
My first question is, what is something from any of your involvement on campus or off campus that you would carry into your seat as election commissioner if confirmed?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to use my example from BSU, Black Student Union. I went to most of their events and they're very interactive, they're very fun, but sometimes just not everything goes right. And this was before even I had a leadership role. And I think just being able to step up and lead even when you didn't expect to, I think that's really important for both election commissions, but then also just, I don't know, life in general. Because there was an event where just not everything was going how it was supposed to. So I just stepped up and I helped them. And I think that I think they really appreciated it, but I just think that's something, a character that I'm glad I'm able to showcase and just step up into a leadership role when it's necessary.
First.
Hi there. So what is your reasoning for why students should vote as opposed to not?
This is kind of part of I'm just going to keep going off of the first question I answered. I think that representation is very, very, very important when it comes to elections and who we vote for. And I honestly, that's my main reason is I think we need, I know we need representation, equal representation for everyone, no matter their gender, their ethnicity, whatever it goes by. I think we need that representation. And the only way to really get that is to have everyone vote, so we can't just have one group of people voting or just only, like a fourth of people voting. I think the more people that vote, the better the representation is going to be. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to elections.
Right. Carter?
Hi, I wanted to know if you have any knowledge on any of the election violations, and if so, can you name a few?
The violations like for us that we can't do or the candidates?
For the candidates.
Yeah, I know I saw there's like no bribing, you can't bribe anyone or blackmail anyone. And then there was one about you can't steal any other candidates' campaign materials that are around campus. Or when you're in front of election commission, you can't lie or make up any material that you originally didn't have, or that's not true.
Are there any other questions for the candidate?
Can I ask a follow-up question?
You may.
Based off of your answer, are you knowledgeable of any violations for the election commission?
Yeah, so I know we cannot campaign or we can't take a side in the elections. We have to stay impartial. Um yeah, and that just includes like we can't do any campaigning for any of the candidates. Um I know that was the main one. Um yeah, that's the main one that I know.
Are there any other questions for the candidate? Seeing none, I'll take a motion. Hamid,
Move to debate.
there's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Sandlin, is that an objection? No? Okay. We are now in a period of oh, that was an objection, Sandlin?
No, yeah.
Now in debate, Sandlin.
Based off the answers that I heard, I'm very impressed by this candidate. I think she's more than qualified. She knows what she's talking about. She clearly has a passion for this, to be in this position, and she has a vision that's led her to this point. And I think she'll do a great job in this position. So I will be voting in favor.
Carter,
I'll be echoing Sandlin's statement as well as based off the candidate's interest question. She clearly has a passion, especially when in her speech she mentioned fairness was a big thing, which is very important in student body elections. So I'll be voting for her as well.
are there any other senators wishing to speak in debate? All right, seeing none, Chair Kanal.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. With a vote count of 33-0-3, congratulations, Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we now have our assistant justices. All right, wait, I have to say the name. First up, we have Jake Hansen for Internal Assistant Chief Justice. Let me see. All right, Jake, you have 6 minutes when you're ready. Make sure the mic's on this time.
Yeah, can everyone hear me on Zoom?
Can you hear him? They can hear you.
Awesome. Well, good evening, Senate. I wanted to start by saying thank you for seeing my confirmation tonight, and I hope everyone's doing well. For those of you that I haven't been able to meet yet, my name is Jake Hansen. I'm a rising senior here at UCF. My student government journey started here in SJLC, where I moved to JLC and then was confirmed to my associate justice position last summer. During my time here on the branch, I've become very familiar and well-versed in our services and have been able to serve as vice chair and chair of our Judicial Experience Committee before being confirmed as the Internal Assistant Chief Justice this past March. Through my experiences both on the branch and outside of student government, I've gained many skills that I find useful for this position, and I feel confident that I will be able to continue the work that I started and best serve our branch and each other across the board. Having started my SG journey in SGLC and JLC, I'm extremely excited for the opportunity to serve as one of the coordinators for these programs and welcome new and talented students to each of our branches and just kind of introduce them to student government as a whole. Some of my goals outlined in my proposal include increased marketing and networking with the colleges on campus in order to draw on a diverse group of SGLCers from across the student body, which is something that I have a lot of experience with on campus already. Additionally, my statutory requirements outline the maintenance of orientation files for new justices, which is something I hope to accomplish through creating a crash course that pulls from all of our governing documents that can be presented to them at retreat, which is just something that they can be used to refer back to throughout the year as well. I also want to work or continue working with our committee chairs to ensure that they feel supported and have the resources that they need to achieve their initiatives, both individually as justices across the board, and then also within those committees respectively as well. And then maintain a constant stream of communication between justices, branch leadership, and other branches as well. Thank you again for seeing my confirmation tonight, and I yield the rest of my time for questioning.
All right, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Temple,
Two, if I may, one clarifying.
you may.
My memory is shot, but weren't you the internal assistant chief justice in the last year, or am I going crazy?
I got appointed in March of this past year.
All right, sorry. So kind of sorry again, my brain is shot. But so I wanted to, you know what? Never mind. My brain is really shot. I would track.
May revisit if you need. Hawk Elder.
Hi, yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. In a position like this, a position of power, when you're kind of dealing with a lot of these important kind of decisions and their impacts, what is one role model that you think impacts your decisions and why?
I want to say my role models would be the other justices on the branch. A lot of the work that we do can't be accomplished individually, or really any of it. And I think that seeing how the others, whether it's something as simple as a parking appeal, something more complicated and new as a fiscal appeal, any initiatives that we're taking on, seeing how we all work both individually and as a group, and then handle those tasks, especially when it remains to being impartial, I think is something that I kind of draw inspiration from in terms of everybody.
Are there any other questions for the candidate? All right, I'll take a motion. Hurst.
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in period of debate. I'll take at least one. Hurst.
I see no reason not to vote in favor of this.
All right. Are there any other senators wishing to speak in debate? All right. Morissette.
Everything he said in his speech is very needed for the judicial branch, especially in the new session, for them to continue to move forward and do all the amazing things they do. So I'll be voting in favor. Everything he said was great.
All right. Any more? No. Chair Kanal? Not Chair Kanal. They didn't go through E and A, so we can do motion. Okay. Temple.
Move to vote on the confirmation.
There's been a motion to move to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there.
Don't worry, I was ready.
No talking during voting, y'all. All right, with a vote count of 35 to 0 to 0. Congratulations, Jake Hansen.
Thank you.
Is that our first with 0 and 0? Oh, you're special, Jake. Very special. All right, Daniel Rivera for External Assistant Chief Justice. You got some big shoes to fill, Daniel. Don't worry, you're fine. All right, you have 6 minutes and when you're ready.
Good evening, Senate. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. I hope you're all well. My name is Daniel Rivera. I'm a second-year honors student seeking confirmation to be the External Assistant Chief Justice. My journey here at student government began with SGLC and JLC, learning the ins and outs of the judicial branch. I was appointed and confirmed to my Associate Justice seat first in March and again in May. Whoa, June. That was crazy. While my time on the council has been short, it's been a whirlwind experience that has made me a better leader and a better servant to our student body. Judicial's entire purpose is to be reactive, working one-on-one with students in need, and the beauty of this role is how it enhances that unique aspect. One of my goals as the external assistant is to build upon the work of my predecessor, Shelby Morgan, and connect with our satellite campuses to expand the judicial branch's outreach efforts and bring our various J with the Justices events to those campuses. Another one of my key priorities is to continue to cultivate our strong branch relations, emphasizing consistent communication with the legislative and executive branch leadership, and provide support where needed. One of the best parts of this position is being a coordinator for the SGLC program. When I arrived on campus, I remember being homesick and incredibly scared. But SGLC soon gave me a home here on campus at student government and at the judicial branch. I found loving friends, formative mentors, and a fulfilling experience that I will always be grateful for. It was a gift that I hope to give to those who are to come to our university, just as the coordinators did for me. Being a recent graduate of that program, I look forward to returning as a coordinator for the next class. I am excited for this new journey on the judicial branch. I recognize and am humbled by the high honor and distinct privilege it would be to serve as the external Assistant Chief Justice. Thank you for your time, and I yield for questioning.
We're in line for questioning, Hamid, and then Temple.
Hi, thank you for coming in today. So what is something that another justice has done or said to you that has inspired or impacted you?
One of the first conversations I had with someone on the judicial branch was former Chief Justice Sage Kerr. I shadowed him for a full day of judicial meetings, and it really sparked my love for the work that we do. It wasn't necessarily a specific thing that he said or did, but it was getting immersed into the experience of what judicial does and how we work that made me love what we do. So I would say pretty much that one day at the office.
Temple, then Hurst.
Hey, Daniel. So in your capacity as the coordinator for SGLC and JLC, what is something that you would want to reform or in some way make new in order to give the next class a more unique experience from your class?
I think one of the coolest things about my SGLC experience was honestly being in the chamber. So that's one thing I would like to work with the other coordinators on, find if we could see a time that we could have our meetings here. I know it's something that sounds trivial, but just being in this room and, grabbing the essence of what we do is essential.
Hurst.
Other than SGLC and JLC, for your position, what do you plan on doing differently than last session?
Would probably be expanding our outreach events. Unfortunately, there was a lot of, not a lot, but we didn't necessarily reach out to our satellite campuses. And that's one thing I'd like to do this session, because sometimes those students don't necessarily know the services that we have. And it's something that I would like to reach out to.
Are there any other questions for the candidate? Seeing none, I'll take a motion. Hamid?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. Anyone wishing to speak in debate? Temple?
First and foremost, I do appreciate the comment that there's something special about being in this chamber. Finally, somebody else gets it. That's you can bite me on that. But in any case, I do appreciate your the drive and the ambition that you have with this position, and I really cannot wait to see what you do with SGLC and JLC. I know very much how much you gleaned from that experience, for lack of better terms. But yeah, I'm excited to see you in this position. I would encourage you all to vote for Mr. Rivera here for the position of the EACJ. I think that's what it is, right?
Whitson?
I feel like I say this every week. I have to abstain again because Daniel's my roommate, but I love this guy and he knows so much. So I really want you guys to vote yes for him, even though I have to abstain.
Hurst?
May I retain?
You may.
Oh, shush. The candidate seems to know what he wants to do. I appreciate he wants to reach out to the other campuses as well and not just let this be a only on campus thing. And with that, move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now there. With a vote count of 32 to 0 to 1, congratulations, Daniel. in my mind, I'm gonna count that as like 3200 because his roommate doesn't count. So personally, but congratulations, y'all. All right, that's almost a wrap. Internal legislation, none. Senate forum, Chair Temple.
I will make this quick. Please sign out this form. I will be checking on it like a hawk.
And then Senate deliberations. Hurst, you had Senate forum.
Yeah, for Senate forum, not just the priority survey, also the concern form. Please, there's like literally one submission that's from me 3 days ago. I would love to have more than just one person complaining about stuff, because then we can talk about it and fix things.
Hurst, I was actually going to ask you, I would probably speak with the comms director about getting the concern form, like a graphic for it. And then possibly, I know it's only summer, but possibly getting it on the screen outside. I'm not sure if we still have that.
Yeah, we also have, my Vice Chair Richmond actually created a QR code for it.
Okay.
And we're going to submit that down to RAs and have them disperse it out in the
Sounds good.
dorms.
Oh, yeah.
So that might help as well.
Yeah,
So
if you
that's
could
just
do
taking
that
time.
too. Okay, great. I forgot about that. She told me that last week. It was such a good idea. All right. Daedalus asked, where is the survey? Online.
If I may.
You may.
It is online, but I've linked it in the agenda for senator's convenience. It's also on Instagram too. Actually, it should be on the Instagram right now. I'll check in with comms.
In the link tree. Yeah.
Fun.
All right. Are there any other senators wishing to speak during Senate forum? All right. Seeing none. Senate deliberations. Are there any senators wishing to deliberate on a specific topic? No, none. Okay. Advisors report, Brody.
Hello, everyone. Yes, sorry, my brain was doing a different thing just now. So give me a second to remember. I wrote things this time. Okay, yes. So as you all may or may not know, your student emails are being transitioned to this summer. So by the end of the summer, if it's not already the case for you, you will not have a Knights email anymore, and you will in fact have an @UCF email. That's really, really good in a lot of ways. Once it happens, it, however, is a challenge with our teams and our access, right? Once it's all done, it will be better for us. But in this weird point where some of you have Knights emails and some of you don't, it makes things a little bit weird. So that being said, sorry. And also, if you come across a document that you think you should have access to and you don't, just request access. And I'm trying to stay on top of that as much as I can to just give you the access that you need. And at some point, we're just gonna clear out all the Knights and add you all in with your new emails, and that's gonna help a lot. You'll have a much easier time with access because you'll be a full member and not a guest in Teams. So it'll be really nice. But yes, I appreciate your patience with that process because it's a pain. For those that are in paid positions, it's the end of the pay period, so make sure you submit your time. Along with that, I have to take a second, and sorry for everyone that this doesn't apply to, just ignore the next minute. It has been it has been brought up again that you are required to take a 30-minute unpaid break if you are working more than 5 hours, or if you were working 5 hours. So if you work 5 hours and 1 minute, you need to have taken a 30-minute break. Otherwise, they're gonna take that time from you on the back end. Now, I have not been doing a good job of doing that for all of you because frankly, I approved the time when you didn't do that, and nobody ever said anything to me. But it has been, we've been made aware of it once again. So going forward, make sure that if you are working more than that amount of time, you are taking a break. Now, if for some reason you cannot take a break, talk to me, let me know, we'll figure that out. But both because you have to take a break or you won't get paid for it. And also because we care about your health and safety, you should take breaks in your day. You have to take breaks. You have to take a lunch break, right? That's important. So please do that.
I had a question regarding that.
Yeah, please go for it.
So if like I like say, because sometimes I will like, sometimes I'll just sit in the office for like literally like 7 hours sometimes, whatever. So like, will I have to do the break on work day? Like, you know, how's the break thing? Okay, it's on the app. Okay.
Yeah. So whether if you're in the app or on the website or whatever it is, when you go in, like, you know, clock out, take a break, go eat your lunch, go do whatever you're doing. When you come back, clock back in,
Okay.
right? That's what I do. That's what all of our USPS staff does. That is an employee thing pretty much everywhere. So get used to it. You have to take breaks. And also, like, you need to eat. If you're in the office for 7 hours, you have to eat. So like, take a break, clock out. All right. Go get coffee, clock out, go downstairs, go get coffee, do whatever, come back, clock back in. So yes, don't worry about this pay period. I'll make sure that we're covered there. But going forward, if you have a clock in period that is longer than 5 hours, I will reject it and I will send it back to you, and you will have to fix it and send it back to me.
Okay.
So otherwise I get in trouble. So I don't want to get in trouble. And also we care about your health. Sorry, doing two things at once. Okay. Yes, I have that. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there was going to be more, but that's all I have for now. Yes, Ethan, you have a question?
Yeah, quick question about the emails. When can we expect the transition to be complete?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe August 8th is the timeline. You can, if you look it up, if you go to the UCF website and you just like search their website for like student email transition, they have like a whole little infographic about the timeline. I think they're transferring like 100,000 emails. And I think they're doing like, I don't know, 10,000 of them a week or something. Apparently there's like a master schedule. So you can like go and be like, oh, this is like, you don't have access to this, but there is somewhere a schedule of like where every single student email, when like which week it's being transferred, which is wild. Yeah. But as far as it is relevant to you, everything that's in your Knight's email should be transferred over to your, what it will be is your nid@ucf.edu. That will be the email that you will be able to use going forward.
And that was my second question. Thanks, Brody.
Yep.
Yalman Chili has a question.
Yalman Chili, what's up?
Hey, Birdie. So I received an email sometime a few days ago saying that I will no longer have access to my Knight's email on the 9th of July, which is this Sunday. And so I was wondering, will I still have access to Teams, because I need to be able to run a committee, and I'm sure the other committee chairs are going to have the same problem as well, depending on when their emails are being transferred over.
That is an excellent question. Thank you for asking that. The answer is, I believe so. You shouldn't have a problem because some of you have already had your emails transferred over. But if that's not the case, if you try to log into Teams and it's like, nope, too bad for you, let me know. Just shoot me an email or call me. I don't know. Yeah, let me know and we'll figure it out. I was hoping to avoid like adding you each over the course of the summer and waiting until the end, but if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. Yeah, Amanda.
Yeah, Vihan, just for clarification, mine was done like 2 days ago and I still can access everything. So it's just kind of, I think it's fine. So it shouldn't be much of a problem.
Let's hope this is a really smooth transition out of the norm for UCF. So yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, Luke, you're good. Maybe you've already left, but yeah, you're good. Thank you, ECers, for hanging around and getting sworn in. Congrats. Okay, yes, that's all I have. Any other questions about this or for me in general? Maybe some. Oh, weird. Okay, Ariana, I am seeing your message. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I guess that's good. So, sorry, Ariana in the chat mentioned that they still were able to log into Teams with the old email, even though they don't have it for other things. So I guess that works. And then later on, we'll move everybody over. Along with that, something else that's going to be a nice change. I think this is still tentative, but I think we're going to change all of the OIDs that you have access to right now, which OIDs are like your Senate emails, your chair emails, all of those position emails. Instead of being fully separate accounts, I think what we'll do is make them shared inboxes, which means that what I'll do is I'll give you access to that email and it will just show up as another inbox in your email. So you won't have to log into multiple emails. You'll log into your email and you'll see like, oh, here's my Senate email, here's my chair email, like they'll all just be right there. And then you won't have to like have a separate password, and I won't have to maintain 100 passwords. So there are some real potential benefits here once the transition is done. So yeah, Amanda.
I don't really know if this is a question that you can answer, but I was wondering if there was a way that we can do like a post on or like a story on the SG Instagram that kind of has like a place for people to ask questions about this transition, because I know a lot of people are still really confused and IT is kind of taking a while to get back. So I was wondering if we could do like a post that kind of explains it more, because a lot of my friends are like texting me, what do you know about this? And I was like, I don't really know. That's had to be a question for UCF SG. So I was wondering if we could like do something. If you don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to say you, Amanda, connect with our ELA, Laurel. Yes, got it. Nailed it. And connect the two of you, connect with our communications office folks over there and do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm kind of new, so I don't really know who Laurel is.
Go forward.
Laurel is the ELA. You'll find here. I'll just put
She's not here right now.
Yeah.
So, but she was here right now, and I was just gonna
let her take it.
That's all right.
I'll put her email in the chat for Amanda.
In lieu of Laurel, check in with Sierra, and Sierra will help get you connected with Laurel and the communications office. But no, that is a great idea because I think that's something that hasn't been communicated well enough to students. So what a great initiative for student government support. All right. I think that is all from me. I will kick it over to Netta. Yep, sorry, just forgot. Yep. Anybody got any senator shout outs? I will mention Akila put one in there already. Sierra puts her whole heart in the Senate, does everything she can to help students, even when it's out of the scope of what she has to do. So shout out Sierra.
Oh, thanks, Akila.
All right. Reese, go for it.
Yeah, I want to shout out all of ENA because we've been going through so many interviews and we have been doing it like champs, and I'm very proud of y'all and thankful for your patience.
Perfect. Love it. Behan.
So firstly, I'd like to shout out the LJR committee because this week's meeting was a very productive meeting, and committee members are being very good at finding things and statutes that might need to be fixed, asking questions. And so I am deeply, deeply appreciative of LJR's committee members for being as wonderful as they are. Next, I would like to shout out Chair Temple for the reason being that he showed up in person to Senate when he normally lives in South Florida, and he drove a long way there and he made sure to dress up, and I suppose that's a lot of dedication. And so shout out to Chair Temple for being the boss as always, and shout out to Chair Hurst for once again assisting me with LJR announcements while I am unable to attend the first hour of Senate because of a fellowship I have elsewhere. And that's about it. Thank you.
Great, we love it. Kylie.
I wanted to shout out Senator Hurst as well, just because she seems to have her toes dipped in every little thing that could possibly exist. And honestly, that's huge. It's a big commitment, and I'm very proud of her, even though her and I don't really like communicate well because I'm not there in person, but she's very useful and I love her existence within Senate. I also wanted to shout out Senator Kazay because he spoke up a lot during our CRT meeting and really asked a lot of questions and is very like intuitive and also very funny. Like he makes us laugh all the time. So it's lovely having Senator Kazay there.
All right, perfect. I don't know, these feel retaliatory shout outs, so I'm just gonna jump straight to Rihanna.
I just wanted to shout out Chair Carter for showing up to Disability Caucus today and working with the caucus on initiatives that LGBTQ plus caucus is working on, and just being a very active chair in general.
Love it. All right, Jason.
I would like to also shout out Chair Carter because she has been helping me a lot with event planning and literally anything that I need. Like they've been a major help. I would also like to shout out Chair Hurst because, because she's been a really big help in like helping me gain confidence as a senator. And so I really appreciate it.
We love it. All right, Amanda, you can go.
First of all, I love you all. And I want you to know that while I do love the shout outs, I get very like, I don't know how to say, like, I don't know. Flustered. That's a great word. I get flustered. But I love you all for it. Shout out to everyone that is not in the chamber that is doing this remotely, because you guys are awesome for still sticking with this over summer when you're not actually here. Also, get your head, look, hold on. Shout out to Temple for driving 3 hours to Orlando to actually do this meeting in person and wearing a suit again, because even though he's not usually here, he's still taking part in all of that. Disability Caucus for doing the most. I love them also. And SBA, we love you all the time.
Ethan.
Shout out to Amanda for providing a rather warm welcome back in Orlando, but also I wanted to shout out ORS because they did a fantastic job while I was MIA. By the way, go watch the Indiana Jones movie, very fun. I also want to shout out Senator Hamid. I got to sit in a little bit on LJR and you were very active in that meeting, so props to you for that. And then of course, what was it? Oh yeah, shout out to Gap because Gap is better than SBA.
All right. Any other senator shout outs?
I'll shout out.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Demarla because I don't think y'all saw her, but when I saw her in that meeting with the deans, like she was very precise. She was echoing what the fiscal leadership needed to be echoed. I know Tyler was applauding her because fiscal can be very difficult, and she's been very supportive, at least from what I've seen for fiscal leadership in our students lately. And I just want to applaud her, and I want to applaud everyone that went to that meeting: Borges, Butler, Jeremy Kane, and I can't remember who else was there, but thank you for being there. And who else do I want to shout out? Amanda, because we had an amazing conversation today. She's just so amazing. Like her energy is just amazing. And then shout out to Temple for his score on the LSAT for the first time. He did really good. And I'm rooting for him. He's taking it again in August. So cross your fingers, send out your thoughts, pray if you pray, this junk isn't easy. So yeah, that's it for me.
That's provided I can actually get a time for the August LSAT.
All right, Ariel.
I just wanted to shout out Chair Kenna. She been doing the thing week after week, putting in that work. I know it gets tough, especially when stuff is not coming up on the agenda. Girl, you've been doing it and you've been killing it week after week. And I salute you because, man, I know it's hard, girl.
All right. Now I saw Vihan's face when they raised their hand, and I just am just very nervous. But yeah, Vihan, just go for it.
So I forgot a few, as usual. So my next shout out goes to Chair Campbell because Disability Caucus had a very productive meeting, which I found fun. I'm not a member of the caucus, but I sat in and I thought that was pretty cool. Shout out as well to Vice Chair Duke for taking minutes in that very productive caucus. The reason I say that is because one of the main topics that was discussed was how Disability Caucus can best assist a trans rights rally in October, which is very cool because trans rights is good. And so shout out to Disability Caucus as a whole as well. Thank you.
Ethan.
I also forgot a few. Driving 3 hours on 75 and I-4 can bleed your brain. I'm sorry. But yeah, first and foremost, congratulations to our speaker, by the way, because she did very well on her outside as well. Of course, good luck to her when she takes it again. Congratulations to all the new election commissioners and the new EACJ, IACJ. They're going to do fantastic in their roles. And I swear to God, I thought I had another one. Hey. Oh yeah. Shout out to all the people in this chamber here. And yes, that includes you, Amanda. I'm taking your puck.
All right, Elle.
Yeah, so I'm gonna first shout out. Well, before I shout out, I just want to say, yeah, trans voters, yeah, I have a vested interest in that as a trans person here. So don't be too proud of me. I'm doing this for my own interest. But I'm gonna shout out Vice Chair Duke, partly for putting up for me, and partly just kind of taking initiative a little bit when talking about the actual rally. And even if we don't do it as SG agents, if we're not able to, if there's some rules that make it muddied, hearing that they're just going to do it as an individual, much like me, brings up my mood a bit. So thank you.
I appreciate Elle just actively admitting to selfishness and is in their caucus. That's fine. All right. Any other senator shout outs? All right. Sounds good.
Hello all. I just wrote these like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, great job to everyone in Senate today. Shout out to Maddie and Brody for doing all that Senate stuff while I study for the MCAT and like take a nap during Senate. Yeah, I've been in the committee and caucus meeting, so if you see me in there, say hello. If you'd like to set up a one-on-one with me, I have my email in the minutes, so hopefully that will encourage everyone to maybe set up a one-on-one. You can get to know each other, you know, have a little therapy session, maybe get coffee, whatever you want to do. And if you don't have time for a one-on-one, we can have an email chain. You know, I'm very flexible. But yeah, great work, everyone. I'm here for you. Hey, Maddie.
But who's
Hello.
here for Netta?
Me. I've got you. Hello, everyone. I actually have stuff written this time, which should give you a hint that it's important. Okay, new senators, pay attention. I recently sent, well, okay, politely pay attention. I recently sent out an email with a Google form that you all should fill out. It'll help me learn more about you and ways to contact you. Also, you'll get another email pretty soon with your senator email passwords and stuff, and that'll let you log in and get it all set up. So that email should be also coming within the next 2 days. So please be checking your email so we can get that all filled out. Okay, returning senators. Hi guys, I miss you so much. I can't wait to see you all, and I'm glad for everyone who comes in person because it really makes me happy. Yeah, because me, Netta, and Brody are always here, and so don't be shy. Come say hi. Oh yeah, Brody and I are also putting in blood, sweat, and tears to the SG website. So it will be very pretty and updated soon. All your names will be there. You can take a screenshot and show your parents or your loved ones, and be very proud and brag, put it on social media. Yeah, and then also, oh yeah, reminder to chairs and vice chairs. Attention, chairs and vice chairs. Please keep putting your minutes in the Teams so that I can get those all uploaded on the website and everything can be nice and neat and organized and we can look professional. Cool. Thanks so much. If you guys have any questions, let me know.
And also vice chairs, just email them to Maddie so Maddie doesn't have to go like searching for them on an adventure. So yes, just email them directly each week. That'd be great.
Cat photo. He's very cute. Okay, bye.
We'll take
Oh,
questions
I'm
now.
sorry, I zoned out. I'm so sorry. Oh, are there any questions for the advisors? Borges?
Sorry, this one's actually for you.
Oh, yeah.
When do you plan to have like our headshots set up? I know last session we took a long time and they never got put up.
Good question. And as I was zoning out, I was looking at the comms email to schedule it. Wow. So you literally read my mind. Yeah, so I guess I'll just tell y'all now. I reached out to comms about a introducing Senate video or reel for our students. So that's coming up. I wasn't gonna say it out loud yet, but I guess we have it now. And then our headshots, because you know how we've dismissed some senators and things like that. So I kind of wanted to let the dust settle a little bit before, but I am sending out that comms request literally as we're speaking. But yes, that is a good question, and that is happening as soon as possible. That's what I want one of the first things that I want done before we even sit here for the start of the semester. And you can hold me accountable for that. If you don't see it happening, just send me a message. I will update you. I will not forget about it. Hurst.
This one's for Maddie. Please don't hurt yourself on the blood, sweat, and tears of fixing the website. Please don't hurt yourself on the keyboard. It's not worth it.
Carter.
This might, since Maddie brought it up, I did want to ask about the returning center emails because I know my email would change because I changed seats, so I'm not sure if that would be included with the new emails that would be sent out.
Yeah, we will make sure that yours is included in the batch of new senator email and passwords that go out. So thank you for that reminder because yeah, I forgot. You're still a senator, and I just was like, all right, moving on. Yeah. So yes, we will get you a new email and password within the next day or so.
All right. Are there any other questions for myself or for the advisors? All right, seeing none, miscellaneous business, none, I will take a motion. Morissette, I saw your hand up first.
Yes. Motion to adjourn pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. Is it Hurst or Yalman-Chili? Yalman-Chili, will you be doing roll call?
Yes, I can do it.
When you're ready.
All right. So give me just a moment. All right. Alazo.
Present.
Herrera.
Present.
Trainer. All right. Absent. All right. Thank you, Aiden. Nava Cruzat. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, present.
All right. eBay.
Present.
Kenna.
Present.
Morissette.
Present.
Temple. Vorn.
Present.
Bishop.
Present.
Carringall is excused. Dattlus,
Present.
DeCara,
Present.
Butler,
Present.
Campbell,
Alive.
all right. Castillo, absent. Lausier,
Present.
Fintel,
Present.
Hamid,
Present.
Larson,
Present.
Rose,
Present.
Whitson,
Here.
Yera, all right, absent. Quiroga,
Present.
Carter,
Present.
Brown, all right, absent. Similo,
Present.
Hamayan,
Present.
Nadella,
Present.
Senator Ishan Patel, absent. I am present. Senator Shah,
Present.
Acosta,
Present.
Borges,
He's here. He's having mic problems.
all right, cool. Duke,
Here.
Hochfelder,
Here.
Holmes,
Here.
Hurst,
Present.
Kazay,
Present.
Barnett,
Present.
Lacasse, absent. Polera,
Here.
AJ Patel, AJ Patel. He's in the Zoom. Can I mark him present?
Unless he's stating that he's having technical difficulties or anything, I would just mark him absent. Unless he states anything.
All right. Pullman, absent. Richmond, absent. Sandlin,
Present.
Vasquez,
Present.
Cairo Cervera,
Present.
DeMarla, absent. Mittal,
Present.
all right, with 41 out of, I believe, 52, quorum is verified.
In